the glass castle that shattered a suburb. Angry neighbours say their privacy's been invaded by a monster new development. But the owner says he doesn't care.
How dare you call my wife a liar? Don't you come at me like that.
Look at it, it's an absolute monstrosity.
I don't care about people's little emotions. I'm building within the law.
They could almost dive into our pool, they're that close. So.
Council should know that this is ruining people's lives.
The Glass Onion is one of the hit movies streaming this summer.
It's like an actual huge glass onion.
Set at a reclusive billionaire's unique and expensive glass structure built on his own exotic island. Here beside this Gold Coast canal, another very large glass structure has emerged, a whole lot closer to its neighbours.
It's too close, it's too high, it's too intrusive.
Gary Hopkinson and Bishma Wati bought their waterside home 4 years ago.
A property like this is very rare to find. So that was our hopes and dreams, that we're going to come and retire here and bring our grandchildren over every school holiday, and they will just have lots of fun in here.
When they purchased it, the neighbouring block looked a little different. A single-level brick house with 3 mature Norfolk pines out front. 2 of those have now been torn down, along with the old home. In its place, not 1 house, but 2. A duplex, 3 stories high, both 4 bedrooms with rooftop pool areas.
How do you feel seeing that?
I feel very, very, very angry. What is going on with all that transparent glasses? How can the council say that we've got sufficient privacy?
The duplex has a 2-metre gap down the middle. On Gary's side, it's as close as 20 centimetres from his fence.
What's it done to your pool area here?
It's made it unusable. Who would like to be in there, swimmers and be looked at all the time?
What would be their grandchildren's bedrooms look straight out to their new neighbours' windows. The outdoor shower is even more concerning.
They can look straight in at your private parts, basically. That's how intrusive this development is.
Rita has lived on the other side for 33 years and is also upset with the new development.
And so that'll be their balcony right there,
The balcony right there, yeah.
staring straight at your pool
Straight in the pool.
and where you eat breakfast over here.
Yeah, well, if I used to, but now I can't stay out with this noise.
She gets emotional trying to understand why this was ever approved by Gold Coast City Council.
The council make a very wrong decision, a very silly decision. I don't think the council he knows what he's doing to the other people.
Not only was this development fully approved by council, but it was also done in a way where neighbours were not even informed about the proposed new structure, let alone be given an opportunity to object. Architect Scott Koning is the designer and part owner of this Mermaid Waters development, along with his wife May.
Yeah. Do the neighbours normally get informed about this sort of development?
No, it's code accessible. It's not even impact accessible, so they don't get a say.
They don't get a say on a place like that going up next door?
No, I'd be quite happy to have it going up next door. It lifts my value.
We had no idea at all, and suddenly we see a 3-story glass house that overlooks our property and overlooks other people's properties going up, and the council does not think that there is an issue at all.
Have you had a look at from their pool at sort of your house and how much it sort of looks straight in on their pool?
I've got an approval here in front of me, and I don't really care. They can go and build something like this there. That's not a problem. I don't have an issue with it.
Gary and Bishma say their requests for a meeting with Scott Koning made through his wife May have been ignored. So when the 2 parties met face to face for the first time, emotions quickly bubbled over.
You're a liar.
Yeah, we know.
You never called us back.
How dare you? How dare you call my wife a liar? Don't you come at me like that. You never called me.
Scott Koning claims he's never received any contact from his neighbours. They claim they've sent many emails which were ignored.
This is what I've been dealing with. the whole time.
You're a lying bitch.
Why you say
Thank
that?
you.
Oh my God!
That just put it in the
you
dump
do
for him,
that?
didn't it?
Oh my God! He
Yeah.
said I'm bitch. Oh my
Lying
God!
bitch. Had a go at me
Bad
too on
person
camera.
ever.
Thank
Oh
you.
my God!
That says everything.
Scott Koning then invites our cameras onto his property to highlight issues with the boundary fence, which has become a recent flashpoint after part of a wall was knocked over by his demolition team.
Oh man, I'm going to put a new fence up here for these people, and I'm getting treated like this. This galah over here threatening my wife. Gee whiz, he's a real champion.
I have children. Look this fence, and he say, I don't care your children. I don't care the fence.
Gary Hopkinson has a different recollection of that conversation.
This part of the fence cannot be knocked down, but it needs to be repaired. Can you please ask Scott to contact us? Oh, yes, we're nice people. We're nice people, she says. We're lovely people.
I say we need to talk and sit down. We never help each other.
Exactly.
And he come here today, say I'm bitch lady. So I'm shocking.
Scott Koning describes the new duplexes as 2.5 stories high. Council calls it a partial 3-storey because the top level cannot be more than 50% of the level below.
When you sort of stand beside it, it looks like 3 stories.
Oh, this is people look, it's you feeling, but not really. This is
Well,
too hard.
look, technically it's 3 stories, but it's called 2.5.
It is a 3-story, so it should be said as a 3-story.
There's nothing illegal happening here.
I'm
Nothing.
not suggesting there's anything illegal because clearly it's been approved, but don't you think that it just looks a bit
No.
out of whack here?
No, I don't, because that's going to get pulled down, relatively soon, one would imagine, being its age. Next door's, well, it's a dump, so it'll get pulled down at some stage too.
The dump he's referring to has been Rita's pride and joy for 3 decades.
You know the house you're calling a dump?
Yeah.
The lady's been living there for 33 years. That's her
It's
home.
an old house.
That's her home.
Yeah, okay.
You
But it's
call
old.
what you see as a dump
Hey,
is a home.
What I'd like to pull out is the way that guy just treated me and my wife. That was non-called for.
Okay.
He's a developer and he doesn't care. He doesn't care about us. He doesn't care about Rita on the other side.
Gary and Bishma feel like Gold Coast City Council doesn't care much either.
We need to talk to somebody, and it's a very difficult council to talk to. Very difficult to get through to somebody.
A Gold Coast City Council spokesperson says,
Dwellings may include a partial 3rd story if under the 9-metre height limit. Opening windows were not approved on the northwestern facade. The city is aware of the matter and investigations are continuing.
Yeah, I am disgusted. I'm disgusted not just by this, I'm disgusted in this country that councils get away with this sort of stuff.
You've got to wonder how that was allowed, huh? And so much for love thy neighbour.